What's going on, guys? Dropadooski here. Today we're going to do the quick and dirty guide for the Jade speed setup for T13s. Now, I've been playing with a lot of different speed setups for Witch Doctor specifically, as this is my Witch Doctor season and it's my first one in a long time. Prior to this build, I was playing Angry Chicken Helltooth, the old school Angry Chicken Helltooth, which is great for speeds, but not necessarily viable for T13. I recently put together this Jade setup for farming Griffstones in T13, and it does really well. It moves really fast. You can survive, you can kill things quickly, and so we're gonna just go ahead and jump right over to the gear and the abilities, and then I'll demonstrate how it works. So with this setup, you are utilizing the Jade harvester set. It's a 6-piece. I use the 6-piece set for this variation. There are a couple other variations, and you can tweak this some, and I'll explain those as we go as well. But you use the 6-piece Jade, and you get haunt damage wherever you can get it. So on shoulders, chest, and offhand. Now, the good thing for this, for me specifically, is because I plan on pushing solo Jade at the end of the season. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I have put out a guide for solo Jade, and I will link it in the description. It is not as strong as Firebats, but I think the playstyle is much more enjoyable. And when it comes to pushing solos, I think it's very important for you to push what you like to play. So what we've done here is we're using the same gear that we would push with solo, our 6-piece set, and then modifying a couple items so that you have survivability and speed in T13. Both things are what you want for a good T13 farming build. I will say this right off the bat: if you get a really bad map like a cave or some sort of barrack or something like that, this isn't going to go as fast as, say, a wizard, a lightning wizard, or a shadow DH. But if you get an okay map, an open map, then this is going to work very well. So you have the 6-piece Jade set with haunt wherever you can get it. I roll area damage for my solos, so I've left it there. It's not necessarily required. If I was to get more pieces for this, I would probably roll cooldown, because when you're in T13, things explode so quickly. You don't really need the area damage. You're utilizing the gold wrap here. Now, the gold wrap is what enables you to stay alive. Gold wrap coupled with the Boon of the Hoarder. You'll want to level the Boon of the Hoarder to 50. As I said, I just put this together, so it's only 39. And then with all the gold that comes from dying enemies, this increases your survivability by a huge amount. I have seen it all the way up to like 9 billion, my survivability, when I'm running through a good Rift setup. On the offhand, I use Thing of the Deep, which increases health globe and gold pickup by 20 yards, which just also helps with that survivability, and coupled with the Gruesome Feast passive, it gives you a lot more damage. We use Ingeom, so this thing is centered around Ingeom. In the beginning, or before you've killed a pack, is when you're the most vulnerable. But once you've killed a full pack, you can effectively never die, because you're always horrifying and you're almost always able to spirit walk, and you can just spam Soul Harvest. And any of you not familiar with the Jade set, Soul Harvest consumes all of the stacks of Haunt and Locust Swarm immediately, so things just delete. Nemesis Bracers, just for more packs and yeah, more Death's Breaths. They're standard for pretty much all speed farming builds. Right now I have T-Pledge Compass Rose on, and this is one of those variations that I was talking about before. Ideally, what I would do is get a 5th passive here. I would get a Hellfire Amulet, which I have not gotten yet. And then I would put Rachel's Ring of Larceny here, which increases your movement speed, and I do have that in the cube right now. Let's pull that up while we're going over this. Increases your movement speed for 4 seconds after fearing an enemy. So while you're spamming Horrify, you're just flying through, coupled with Severance and then the speed boost from Avarice Band. This thing really moves. So I would probably wear this, put Ring of Royal Grandeur here, and then actually wear the Quetzalcoatl. Then that way I can benefit from the damage properties off of Quetzalcoatl as well. This is a cold variation that I'm using, so I have cold on my bracers. I would ideally have cold on my amulet here, so it would be cold crit crit. And my legendary gems are Bane of the Trapped, Bane of the Powerful, and then, as I had said before, Boon of the Hoarder. Let's go ahead and look at the abilities. Oh, and we'll also discuss this quickly. We have Wormwood here, so you're continuously plaguing Locust Storm, so you don't even have to worry about it. Occasionally, I'll notice that you're moving so fast that Wormwood doesn't have time to put Locust Swarm on a brand new pack that you've gotten to, so I hit it on the bar every once in a while just to throw it out there so that I can delete them quickly. But it's really, really effective in big maps. You'll see it, like the whole entire map as you're running through is just covered in Locust Swarms and Haunts, and you kind of just have to hit Soul Harvest and just explode things. On the abilities, Haunt, Resentful Spirits, this is the cold Haunt. It releases 2 spirits at once. Pronado for stacking up enemies. This is standard for pretty much all Witch Doctor builds other than Firebats. Horrify Stalker. This increases your movement speed by 20% for 4 seconds, and then coupled with the Rachel's Ring of Larceny, you're just flying through. Spirit Walk Severance, this one increases speed the most, and this thing goes all around speed. Soul Harvest Languish. For the armor stacks, because as I said before, you get your gold wrap going, you're very, very squishy. You die very, very easily. So like in caves and barracks and other things like that, you will die running this build. So it's not necessarily good for hardcore speed farming, but it is very good for softcore. And then Locust Swarm Pestilence. My passives here are Gruesome Feast, Creeping Death, which is standard for any Haunt or Swarm style build. Grave Injustice, which just helps alongside of the Ingeom. So with Ingeom plus this, I mean, you can spam your abilities. And then Confidence Ritual for the additional 25% damage. Now the Hellfire Amulet that I would be looking for is one of these 4 passives or Spirit Vessel, right? Because with Spirit Vessel, it gives you that ability to survive or sustain for that moment before you get Ingeom going. The other thing that I'll mention briefly, since we were talking about the alternatives to this build, if I were wearing the Quetzalcoatl here, there's a couple of variations or options you could do. Haunting Bridle is what I would ideally put in there, which gives you more haunts. Just helps to get everything dotted so that everything dies faster and you do more damage. There's other variations where you could take a different passive as your 6th that enables you to keep your mana up, and then put Aquila in for more toughness. So you can kind of play around with this, and I'm still working on it as we go. This current setup only works for T13 rifts. We did do some test runs on stream yesterday for T13 bounties, and it was just dying all the time. I mean, I did get my bounty done, and the other 4 were getting their bounties done, but mine took a little longer, and in certain scenarios it didn't work. So we're going to work on variations as to getting a setup that's viable for doing bounty farming at that level for the Witch Doctor, but as of now, I haven't messed with it enough. So quickly, let's just jump into a rift here. Hopefully we get a good one. So we're going to run through this, and hopefully we'll get a pack near the door. Now, as I said, when you get in, you're as vulnerable as you're going to be early, especially with mobs like Anarchs and such that will one-shot you. You see how I have no gold wrap stacks yet. But once the gold starts coming down, you have a lot more ability to stay alive. And you're just haunting as this Locust Swarm goes out. So you can start like the chain reaction once you have Ingeom. So you're blowing things up as you go. Because you can soul harvest basically all the time. So if you see my cooldown, it's like harvest. It's all up all the time with Ingeom. And plus with the gold wrap, if you look at 25 million or billion, right? Billion toughness. So you're not going to die immediately when you have gold wrap going. And we'll get that down. And we'll just get both of these packs out. Fear is hell for any Jade setup, but it doesn't really slow you down too much. And as you can see, we just got into this grift and we've got half our progression done so far, and there's the speed that you're getting from this build. So you just track down packs and blow them up, and it works very, very well. And this here isn't even a map that you would specifically think is a good map for this setup. Goblins also proc Ingeom. I would, in case some of you didn't know that is true. So if you're having trouble finding a pack but you see a goblin and you can kill it, then it will also refresh your Ingeom stacks. And we'll just cruise through here. I'm just gonna try and blast this whole rift out before we end the video. Depending on what the next map is. If it's terrible, we'll just end it because I don't want this to go too long. But you kind of see what I'm doing here. It's the second you get there, you see how the Locust Swarm just went out from the Wormwood, and then once you get set up and you can permanently Spirit Walk, you can move really, really fast. So you're just looking for packs and blowing them up. Now, the reason that I created this build, or I didn't create it, it was given to me by someone in stream, and I was informed that this has been around for a long, long time, but I haven't really played Witch Doctor since the Ring of Emptiness buff was added to the game. Is I love the playstyle of Jade, and one of the biggest downsides I find from playing Angry Chicken is that when you're in a T13, if you're in a group with T13, you're typically in a group with like a DH or somebody else from your 4-man setup that can do T13 effectively and fast, whereas the chicken just doesn't have the damage right away. Your Garg AI is awful. Anybody that has played some Garg knows that Gargantuan is really finicky when it comes to targeting what you want it to. You can cast it right on a pack, and a lot of times that'll work, but if that pack has anything like teleport or something like that and they don't immediately die, then your Gargs are still going to be fighting the wrong things and you're not going to be getting progression. Another big downside to Chicken that I've noticed, especially in T13, is that when you do die, if you've died more than once, you know, so say for instance you have a chain reaction death, which happens pretty regularly when you're in T13s on a Witch Doctor build per se. Like I haven't in this run so far, but if I do go down, speaking of which, the likelihood of me dying again is very, very high. With Gargantuan, you run out of Gargantuan cooldown very quickly, and then you're looking at almost a full minute where you can't do anything, right? Like, oh, well, I guess I just got to sit here dead for the entire rest of the run because I don't have Gargs, right? Okay, we got him down. And where's the Rift Guardian? There he is. See, and the Rift Guardian's immediately dead, right? Immediately dead. So, I guess one of the biggest benefits for me with this setup is that fact that there is never any downtime, right? Even if I die and I go down, I can immediately come back up and start my rotation again, right? So, okay, haunt, soul harvest, kill stuff, get gold wrap, and continue forward. So that's going to do it for this video. I do want to point out quickly that I haven't put out a video in about 2 weeks. The reason being is that I've really, really ramped up my stream time. So for Season 9, I was doing about 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. For Season 10, since the week before it started, we've been doing 8 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week. So I've been spending a lot of time on stream. I am going to be putting out more videos. I will do a refresher chicken guide, also something for fire bats, as I'm running fire bats for groups and Jade for solos. And I do want to do a massive shout out to all my subs I've gotten a lot of subs on YouTube recently, and I've gotten a lot of followers on Twitch recently, and a lot of support for the stream. If any of you guys want to come watch the stream, it's twitch.tv/dropadooski. I answer questions live. We have a good time. We just bullshit. And I'm on pretty much every day. So stop by anytime and hit me up if there's any questions you have about this build or other Witch Doctor builds. I typically have commands in chat for all builds that I use, and if I don't have a video guide out, at least you'll get a Diablo fan set up for it. So I will put a link in the description with a D3 planner for this setup, so you guys have a written guide for this. And everybody, good luck in the grifts, and thank you for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe. Peace.